Welcome to Tales of Hope, a home for dreamers, believers, and those still finding their way. I'm your host, Kate, and today we have something truly special for you. Have you ever felt like you're losing yourself trying to please everyone else? Like you're living for other people's approval rather than your own truth? Or maybe you're on the opposite end. You've cut everyone off, built walls so high that even you can't see over them anymore. Today's conversation might just change everything you think you know about relationships. I'm joined by Jackson, a certified relationship coach with years of experience helping people rebuild their connections, starting with the most important one, the relationship with themselves. Jackson, welcome to Tales of Hope.
Thank you, Kate. I'm honored to be here.
So before we dive in, I have to ask, what made you choose this field? Why relationships?
Two things, really. First, I wrote a book about personality and self-development. But the deeper reason, I realized that most people's suffering is caused by other people. Think about it. When you look at social media, therapy sessions, late-night venting with friends, what are people complaining about? Other people. If it's about their job, it's really about their boss or coworkers. If it's heartbreak, it's about someone who left. We are each other's greatest source of joy and our deepest source of pain.
That's heavy, but true.
So I thought, I need to heal myself first. The book I wrote was for me initially. But then I realized, if I'm struggling with this, so is everyone else.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. You talk about 4 pillars of relationships. Can you break those down for us?
Absolutely. The first pillar is our relationship with the divine, with God or whatever higher power you believe in. This affects everything.
How so?
Well, think about it. If there's no God, no witness to our actions, no ultimate justice, then what? Life becomes a one-time grab for whatever you can get. Every slight becomes unforgivable because there's no final day where things get made right. But when you believe in something greater, when you know there's a final accounting, you can forgive. You can be patient. You can let things go because you trust that justice will eventually come.
So it gives you permission to not always fight back.
Exactly. It frees you from the burden of revenge.
What's the second pillar?
The relationship with yourself. And Kate, this is where most people are broken.
Tell me about that, because I think a lot of our listeners struggle with this.
Here's what happens. You were born special. Your family cherished you, held you, told you that you mattered. You learned your worth through their love. But then something shifted. You discovered that saying no led to rejection, that pleasing others kept you safe. So you learned to obey. First your siblings, then guests, then everyone.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember that. When guests came over, suddenly we had to be on our best behavior.
Right. And what did that teach you?
That the other was more important than being authentic?
Bingo. You learned that pleasing the other equals survival. But here's the cruel twist. The same person who makes you feel safe can also hurt you. It's like pressing the brake and the accelerator at the same time. You burn out.
So we magnify others and shrink ourselves.
And when you magnify people, you give them the power of God over you. You become like a balloon that needs others to inflate you with validation. But Kate, balloons float toward needle factories. The person who inflated you can pop you with one word.
That's such a powerful image. I've definitely been that balloon.
We all have. That's why the relationship with yourself is crucial. You need to know your worth, independent of others' opinions.
What about the third and fourth pillars?
Third is relationships with others, which we'll dive deep into. And fourth is understanding the world we live in. Because we can't build healthy connections if we don't understand the system we're operating in.
Okay, let's talk about that system, because it feels like relationships are harder now than ever before. Is that just in our heads, or is something actually different?
Oh, something is very different. Let me walk you through what happened to us.
Please do.
First, after atheism became more common, we got scientism. Humans reduced to data points. How depressed are you on a scale of 1 to 10? You're not a person with a story. You're a number on a chart. Then came materialism. We focused only on appearances. Think about marriage. It's supposed to be a union of souls, right? But where does all the money go? Dress, venue, honeymoon, all external.
I never thought about it that way.
After materialism came this idea of radical freedom. I can do whatever I want as long as I'm not hurting anyone. But here's the thing, absolute freedom is actually slavery.
Wait, how?
When you're free from all moral frameworks, from all obligations, you become enslaved to your desires. Your appetites control you. You think you're free, but you're just following whatever impulse is loudest.
That's challenging to hear.
Then we came to relativism. When everyone's free to define their own truth, suddenly there are no shared standards. I can't predict your boundaries, you can't predict mine. Everything becomes, well, that's just your opinion.
And that led to...
Individualism. Each of us alone in our bubble, wearing headphones, scrolling through social media, convincing ourselves we don't need anyone.
But we do need people.
We desperately need people. But here's the paradox. Freedom and safety are opposites. Real security comes from community, from family. They give you freedom, but safely.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Imagine driving on a brand new road with no lines, no lane markers, nothing. You're completely free to drive anywhere. But the moment you hear a horn, you panic. Without boundaries, freedom becomes terrifying.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
And then we hit what I call moral myopia, losing the ability to tell right from wrong. We started saying not necessarily about everything. A well-dressed person isn't necessarily good. True, but that's the exception, not the rule. When exceptions become the rule, nothing means anything anymore.
So we lost our compass.
Completely. But Kate, 3 more things happened that really destroyed relationships.
I'm almost afraid to ask.
First, contractualism. Our relationships became legal agreements. I'll pay for the babysitter, you pay for the groceries. It's great for business, terrible for love. Relationships should be built on kindness, not contracts. The sacred texts say, do not forget kindness among yourselves. Kindness should come before justice.
What's the second thing?
Dehumanization. Small bureaucratic tasks. Reducing people to numbers. You go to a hospital with a story with pain, but you're just a number passed from person to person. Nobody listens. Nobody sees you.
I felt that. It's so isolating.
And the third thing is the worst. Planned obsolescence.
Like making products break on purpose?
Exactly. After the economic crash in 1929, companies realized they needed people to keep buying, so they started making products designed to break. And we applied the same logic to relationships.
No.
Yes. Divorce and remarriage became easier than fixing what's broken. Friend annoying you? Block them. Why repair when you can replace?
Jackson, that's devastating, but it's also exactly what I see happening around me.
I know. But understanding the disease is the first step towards the cure.
Okay, so let's talk about healing. Where do we even start?
We start with understanding this fundamental truth. All relationships are driven by need.
That sounds kind of cynical.
I know it does, but hear me out. This isn't exploitation, it's human nature. Even our relationship with God is based on our need for Him, though He doesn't need us. The more needs someone meets for you, the more you'll contact them. And that's okay. That's normal.
So when someone stops talking to me after I help them?
That's just the nature of relationships. If you accept this fact, you won't hold grudges when it happens. Your relationship with your parents changes based on your needs from them. That's not bad. It's just human.
Okay, so if relationships are about needs, what did technology do?
It removed our need for each other. Before delivery apps, you'd ask your sister to cook for your guests. She'd shine, you'd be proud, your bond would deepen through that exchange. Now, you order food. A stranger delivers it. You don't look at their face, no story, no connection, no relationship,
So we're more independent.
but less connected. And humans weren't designed to be independent. We were designed for community.
So how do we fix our relationship with ourselves? Where does that healing begin?
It starts with understanding the gap between who you are and who you pretend to be.
Explain that.
There's a concept. Whenever two people meet, there are actually 6 people present. There's each person as they see themselves, each person as the other sees them, and each person as they really are.
That's wild.
It is. The bigger the gap between who you are and who you present, the more depression, shame, and unworthiness you'll feel. This affects all your relationships.
So authenticity is key.
Yes, but here's the tricky part. You need to know your worth without arrogance and admit your flaws without self-contempt.
How do you walk that line?
There's a difference between confidence and arrogance. Confidence is believing in an ability you actually have. Arrogance is believing in an ability you don't have.
And self-contempt?
That's not believing in an ability you actually do have. The wise person knows what they're good at and what they're not. Knowing that you don't know something is knowledge in itself.
So how do we fix self-contempt?
2 ways: complimenting and developing. Look back at your achievements. Remind yourself of your past successes. That's complimenting. Then start developing, but start small. We love huge achievements, but small steps fuel persistence and give you evidence that you're more than people think.
Why do some people love themselves and others hate themselves?
Usually it goes back to childhood. If you grew up in a home where love was scarce, you become desperate for any drop of affection, even if it's impure. When you're starving, you'll eat crumbs of people's compliments. You'll put on masks to get their acceptance.
So our childhood shapes how we see ourselves?
Completely. As a child, you felt special. Your family cherished you. You learned you were worthy through their behavior. They ate after you, hugged you, called for you when you hid.
Oh, I remember hiding to see if anyone would look for me.
Exactly. And adults do this too, just with different strategies. Did anyone miss me while I was gone? This is significant. You associated survival with the presence of others. Your cry brought your mother. Your hunger was met by her care. You learned, others keep me alive.
And that created dependency.
Right. Then siblings came along and you learned that pleasing them kept you included. Saying no got you rejected, so you learned to obey. When guests came over, the house changed. You had to be better. Why? For the other. And pleasing the other equaled pleasing your parents, which equaled survival.
So the other became the source of safety?
Yes, but also the source of pain. When you magnify others, you become smaller. There's no big or small except in comparison.
So how do we fix this?
You see people as they truly are. Humans who can't protect or benefit themselves, much less you. Neither of us has the capacity to truly humiliate or glorify anyone. That's in God's hands alone. When you understand this, you become immune to people's opinions.
That sounds incredibly freeing.
It is, but it takes practice.
Okay, so you've mentioned that there are 5 types of relationships. Can you break those down for us?
Sure. First is the living relationship. It's nurtured by commitment, obligations, kindness, justice, and forgiveness. This is what we should all aim for.
And the second?
The sick relationship.
It's mainly about avoiding blame. You meet someone's needs just so they won't be upset with you. It's exhausting.
How do you heal a sick relationship?
With what I call vitamins: responsibility, cooperation, initiating kindness without being asked, sincere advice, and patience with their criticism. But Kate, you have to ask yourself, are you obligated to heal this? Is it a permanent relationship like family, or temporary like a coworker?
What's the third type?
The sickening relationship. You're demanded to give more than you receive, and you're blamed for not giving enough. Someone gets upset because you didn't invite them to something when you didn't even know they wanted to come.
Oh, I've had those. They're so draining.
They demand obligations that don't exist. It's toxic.
And the fourth?
The dead relationship. No demands, no obligations, no conflict, but also no life. Like roommates who share a space, but nothing else.
That's sad.
It is. It's common in marriages where both people are independent, busy with careers, just coexisting. No comfort, no peace, just existing.
And the fifth.
And Kate, this is the most dangerous one. The attachment relationship.
Tell me about attachment, because I think a lot of people confuse it with love.
They do, but attachment isn't love. It's a mental illness disguised as devotion.
That's strong language.
It needs to be. Here's how you know if you're attached. 3 signs. 1, you think about them constantly when they're absent. 2, you can only focus on them when they're present. 3, you're possessive. You want to control every aspect of their life.
So it's obsession, not love.
Exactly. And here's what happens. I get so close to you that I eventually push you away. I become suffocating. So you pull back. Then, when you pull back, I'm devastated. I disappear. I turn off my phone. I hide. I ask people not to tell you where I am.
Running away.
Yes, but meanwhile, you become obsessed. You can't let go. You stalk. You call repeatedly. You harass their friends and family.
Why does this happen?
Because one person leaned back, holding on to the other for support. When they let go, the leaning person falls. And who do they blame? The person who let go.
Even though that person just practiced their right to boundaries.
Exactly. Attachment creates a mental prison. There's a platform where you worship them, an altar where you sacrifice for them, a hospital where you complain about them, and a tower where you watch and stalk them.
It sounds exhausting.
It destroys lives. The attached person is like a raging bull, smashing everything to reach their beloved. Looking back, they find their family, friendships, interests, all destroyed.
So how do you heal from attachment?
Get rid of everything that reminds you of them. Gifts, photos, songs, places, everything. And avoid all contact.
That sounds hard.
It is. Because when you do this, something strange happens. They suddenly crave your attention.
Why?
It's like a shadow. It runs away when you chase it and comes closer when you run from it. This is where most people relapse. They think, oh, they finally care about me.
But they don't.
No, they just want what they can't have. If you go back, the cycle repeats. You have to stay strong. The obsession will fade, but only if you break contact completely.
What about healthy love? What does that look like?
Healthy relationships move like a swing, back and forth, give and take, approach and distance. You get close enough to embrace, but not cling. You take enough space to miss each other, but not abandon. It's a balance.
And attachment is...
A stiff, frozen relationship, no movement, just
Two people locked in pain, blame, and eventually hate.
Okay, I want to ask about something specific. Modern workplaces, men and women work together, share spaces. How do you maintain healthy boundaries in that context?
Great question. There's a difference between being in contact and being in a relationship.
Explain that.
Being in contact is temporary, restricted, and purposeful, like working on a project together. A relationship is repetitive, versatile communication that expands beyond that context.
So when does contact become a relationship?
When you take it outside its context, when you start meeting for coffee, texting about non-work things, sharing personal details.
So what's the boundary?
Keep communication moderate in tone and straightforward in content. Talk about work. Don't compliment their watch or perfume. Don't do small talk that hints at something more.
Because that's how relationships start.
Exactly. Relationships are like riding a bicycle. You need a little wobble at first to balance. If you're inconsistent at that wobble stage, you fall. But if you straighten the bicycle by complimenting, bringing coffee, texting outside work, boom, relationship.
So what if there is attraction? What if you actually like someone at work?
Then be honest and straightforward. If you're serious, find an appropriate way to pursue it. Ask them out properly. Don't create this ambiguous friendship that's really romantic interest in disguise.
Because that's not fair to either person.
Right. And Kate, messing up a workplace relationship ruins your entire job. Your performance depends on your emotions. Your emotions depend on your relationships. When your emotions are unstable because of a relationship that didn't work out, everyone's performance suffers.
So the stakes are high.
Very high, which is why boundaries matter.
Okay, let's talk about some practical things. You mentioned something called a social number. What is that?
This is important. Everyone has a social number that changes with context.
What do you mean?
You might be number one at work, the boss, the expert. But at your parents' house, you're just another kid, maybe number 3 or 4.
So our importance changes depending on where we are.
Exactly. And maturity is accepting these different numbers. The doctor who's always right at the hospital is just another patient at the dentist's office.
Why is this important to understand?
Because it prevents hurt feelings. You won't be offended when people don't treat you like you're special because you understand in this context, you're not.
That's humbling.
It's wisdom. Even prophets understood this. Even the best of people knew when to lead and when to follow.
What about setting boundaries? How do you keep relationships where they should be?
Lower their ranking. Respond less quickly. Spend less time with them. Don't pray for them as much.
Wait, you pray for people?
Of course. And not praying for someone is my revenge. It makes me feel better without hurting them.
That's actually beautiful.
The point is, you rearrange people based on their behavior. You give privileges according to their rank in your life.
What about enemies? Can we talk about that?
Yes. Expect enemies, Kate. Everyone has them.
Even good people?
Even good people had enemies. Even prophets had enemies. A person without enemies is a person without principles.
Wow.
You can't please everyone without losing yourself, but don't intentionally make enemies either, because the more enemies you have, the less of the world you can enjoy.
So what do you do with enemies?
Release your grudges. Don't be their prisoner. Some people are so limited by their list of enemies that they can't go anywhere without running into someone they hate.
That's no way to live.
Grudges are like poison. When it's out, it kills them. When it's in, it kills you. So, let it go.
Let's talk about romantic love. What's the difference between healthy love and attachment?
Relationships have 3 stages: infatuation, realization, and decision.
Break those down for me.
Infatuation is blind. You don't really know who they are. You're in love with an idea. This is where attachment gets stuck. People stay in blind infatuation, and when their eyes open, they're devastated by reality.
So what's realization?
That's when the masks come off. You see their flaws, they see yours. This is where most people quit.
But that's where real love begins?
Yes. If you have commitment, especially in marriage, you develop patience and acceptance. 2 rivers from opposite sides of a mountain splash together violently at first, but eventually become one calm river.
So commitment helps you get through the splash.
Exactly. Some people quit at the splash point. They think, this is too hard, we're incompatible. But no, that's just the natural friction of 2 different people learning to flow together.
What questions should people ask before committing?
Not what's your favorite color. They'll lie about that anyway. Ask about their relationship with God, their work ethic, how they handle anger, what stability means to them.
Their pattern.
Yes. Do they stay committed or quit when things get hard? Check their job history. Do they change jobs every year? That tells you about their patience and responsibility.
That's smart.
And remember, love is patient. The scripture says, if one spouse dislikes one characteristic, they'll be pleased with another. This is life. This is forgiveness. This is real love.
Jackson, we're coming to the end of our time, and I want to ask, what's the main lesson you want people to take from this conversation?
First, stop seeking yourself in others' eyes. Your worth doesn't come from around you, it comes from above.
Love that.
Second, be generous in relationships, but wise in boundaries. Give without expecting, but don't give until you're empty. Third, remember that every person in your life is there for a reason. Some are lessons, some are blessings, some are both.
And forgiveness?
Forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Holding grudges is like drinking poison and expecting them to die.
What about in a world that feels so transactional and cold?
Be human. In a world of contracts, dare to be kind. Be the one who stops to help. Be the one who looks people in the eye and says thank you. Be the one who turns off their phone to laugh with their mother. Be the one who brings warmth back into a cold world.
Even if we get hurt?
Yes, you will get hurt sometimes. People will take advantage. But God sees. And on the final day, that's all that will matter.
There's a story you told me before we started recording about 3 friends in a cave. Can you share that?
Sure. 3 friends were trapped in a cave by a boulder. Each one prayed, remembering their good deeds. With each prayer, the boulder moved a little, until finally they were free.
What's the lesson?
Your friends can take you to paradise or to ruin. Choose companions who lift you up, who remind you of your purpose, who help you become who you were meant to be.
That's beautiful. Any final thoughts?
Yes. Relationships are memories, habits, and reminders. They're stories we build together one moment at a time. Don't let the modern world steal your stories. Don't let technology replace your humanity. Don't let fear prevent you from connecting. Because at the end of our lives, we won't remember our possessions. We'll remember the moments, the laughter, the hand that held ours in pain, the friend who showed up when everyone left.
The love that saw us at our worst and chose to stay.
Exactly. The strongest fortress you can build is a circle of people who truly know you and love you anyway.
Jackson, thank you so much for this conversation. I think it's going to help a lot of people.
Thank you, Kate, and thank you to everyone listening. Remember, in a world designed to keep us apart, your humanity is your rebellion. Your kindness is your revolution.
Beautiful. To everyone listening, thank you for being part of Tales of Hope. Remember, you are not alone in this struggle. We're all trying to find our way back to each other.
And sometimes all it takes is one conversation to remind us that connection is still possible, that love is still real, that we can still find each other in the darkness. This is your invitation to begin again, to call that friend you've been avoiding, to forgive that person who hurt you, to let someone past your walls. Until next time, keep believing, keep connecting, keep hoping. This has been Tales of Hope.